Hey everyone, just here for Top Apps for PE Teachers Part 12. I'm going to start with an app called Faster, and Faster is a training application that uses GPS to help you stay in time with your current running pace. First you pick your distance you would like to complete, and you pick the time that you would like to complete it in. When you start your workout, it'll actually alter the speed of the music to give you an indicator of whether you're on target. Now, if I'm running really slow, it slows my music down, and that's the indicator I use to determine whether I'm going fast enough. Conversely, it will speed it up if you're running too fast, so you can stay within that normal range, that range that you set out at the beginning. The next app worth sharing is Group Games, and this is a collection of games that require minimal setup and basically allow you to get to know your group or get the group to know each other, and you can use them to test out team building and strategy and cooperation and those sorts of things. Really simple. They show you how to play the game. It's all text-based, but I've been using this for the last couple of months, and it's been really good for those situations where I've got a few minutes at the end of a session. I want a quick game that students can have a lot of fun with, but it's also going to try and get across some sort of little message about team building and so on. So really useful app, and more games will be added to the collection of 50 that are present at this point in time. The next app I want to share with you is Pacewheel. Now this is it's a pretty simple app, really useful for coaches and senior phys ed perhaps that are looking at items like lactate thresholds and aerobic training and VO2 max and so on. But what you do here is you slide the app until you find your finishing time for one of these races. Now, when I was competing in the 800, my finishing time for the 800 meters was, if I can get close to it, scroll across, keep going, was 1:59. So based on this information, these are the sort of finishing times that I would have for other events if I continue that pace, and it looks at what speeds I would need to accomplish to develop my aerobic base, to develop my marathon race pace, to increase my lactate threshold and develop VO2 max. So it gives a coach a little bit of a guide as to what level they should be setting their training. And fantastic, you can look in here and talk about, well, does VO2 max actually get developed by those particular speeds, or is it speed that really dictates whether this is correct? Just a useful guide more so than anything. The next app I would like to share is Stress Check. Well, it's not going to find it there. Stress Check. Now, Stress Check is fantastic. What it does is it uses your heart rate to give you an overall measure of your stress. And you think, well, I'm not sure how it would do that. But essentially, you put your finger over the camera like so. It uses the camera to track tiny heart rate changes. And you can see in this example here that change in color that you can see is actually my heart rate that's changing ever so slightly between beats. When it's really bright, that's immediately following a heartbeat, and when it goes a little bit duller, that's during the relaxation phase of the heart. It tracks these fluctuations and gives you a stress level, and obviously the more stressed you are, the greater amount of fluctuations there are that occur. Perfect app for teaching sports concepts or sports psychology concepts like arousal and psychological readiness, and you can look and see how you might actually try and reduce someone's arousal level. Fantastic, and cannot wait to use it when we get to that part of the course in senior phys ed. So there we have it. These are the top apps for PE teachers part 12. I will continue this series. I can see there's so many apps coming out in this year. One that I just want to remind people of is PE Games, which will be out very soon, and essentially it is the one-stop shop for PE teachers and the number one app that I think everyone should have. See you later.